Good morning, everyone. I'm headed up to the property. I'm gonna pull the game camera out that I got up there, the one that I'm doing a review on it actually. But where it's at, when Carrie and Mark get here, they're probably gonna be walking because it's on a game trail. And Mark was saying last night, he looks for the trails and then he follows the trails. That's how he finds the big guys. And I don't know if that's a trail made by one of them or if it's from the deer. The odd thing on that trail, what I was telling Mark last night, is that there's not a lot of deer tracks, not a lot of hoof tracks on it. And it is, without a doubt, it's a trail. It's a game trail. But that's where I got the camera set. So far, as of yesterday or day before, all I had on it was a raccoon. And I had I had a picture and a video clip that it may have been a false trigger. I didn't see anything in the clip. But the way I got the camera set up, it'll record a video clip and then it'll do a photo, then a video clip, it'll alternate. And I did that so I can do a good in-depth thorough review of that camera. Guys, it's raining if you're hearing that. I was trying to get up here before the rain hit, and pretty obvious I didn't make that. But anyhow, I want to just give thanks to all of you that are commented on the last video that I put up about the different settings. I was trying out some different settings in the video, 2.7K 4.3 ratio video, and it was different audio settings. I think for the most part everyone was had good input as far as, well, all the input was good, but for the audio, the microphone, it came back. I was real happy with the input that I got from all of you. And so that microphone I have on the camera right now as I'm doing this one. But the settings, I won't be using those settings. I didn't realize how bad the fisheye effect was until after I had uploaded it, because I do everything on this, on my phone. And then after I did the edit and I uploaded it, I was just kind of skimming through it, but I pulled it up on the computer. My vision's getting really bad. And so I put it on the computer where I got a 20-inch or 23, whatever size the screen is, the monitor on the computer, so that I could see it on there and I wouldn't be straining my eyes. And I was really disappointed with the effects on the outside edges of the screen that warped. The fisheye effect is just way too much for that lens. And so I will be using that lens, but I think that it is more designed for like when I go down to visit with my daughter and I ride the motorbike. I think that lens is so I can mount it on the handlebars and it'll film me. It'll have, for the most part, it'll show my entire body, and I think that's what that was designed for. If you could mount it off to the side of a motorcycle, like for the guys that do all the trick riding, motocross, they could mount it off to the side of the bike, by, I don't know, 18 inches with that fisheye lens on it, and it would get there. It'll get the motorbike and them. It'll squeeze everything into that window that you're looking through right now. Boy, it's raining hard. But anyhow, I'm not going to be using that lens for what I normally do, the type of filming that I do. It's not good for that, for sure. But I just want to thank all of you for your input on there, and every one of you were absolutely right. It was really clear up close, but out in a distance from the lens, it was really grainy. You know, everything within 10 feet of me was crystal clear, like incredibly clear. But you get out past 20 foot, and it was very pixelated, I think is the correct word. But anyhow, we ain't fooling with that one no more. I'm hoping this rain will stop. I'm gonna go in here and retrieve the camera. I don't want to leave it there because I'm working on doing a review for that camera for Woe Sports. They were kind enough to send it to me so that I could do a review for them and get it uploaded. And in turn, they're supposed to give me a discount code in case you guys are interested in getting one of them cameras. You can put the code in. They are located on Amazon. That way you put it in your cart and you add the code in, the promotional code, and you'll get whatever discount they're going to offer. The cameras, it seems like it was $45 or $48. It was less than $50. So far I like it. The picture quality is surprisingly good for a lower cost camera. But we'll see if it's waterproof, because it is raining right now. But thank all of you that jumped over to Bigfoot Odyssey last night and hung out. I was trying to read the comments that were popping up, and they were going by really fast, because I know a lot of you had questions, and Kerry was trying, he was on short time. And so he was trying to address as many questions as he could as far as posting them up, and then also stay within the time frame that he set to do the show so that he could travel back home. And so I understand it. But I've seen a lot of you guys and gals that are part of our family here on Sandy Goats Rescue, and I've seen the questions in all caps, but they were going so fast. I read a couple of them, and I was thinking of how to answer it really briefly, but Kerry didn't give me the opportunity. He was on limited time. I'm not saying that in a bad way. He was just trying to squeeze everything into that small window of time. But he'll be up on Monday. And if you guys have any questions that pertain to me that you would like for me to answer, whether it's in regards to one of my encounters or the property or the house, the goats, whatever it may be, if you don't mind, please email it to me. My email is standinggoatsrescue@yahoo.com. Very simple to remember. It's the same as the YouTube channel, but it's at yahoo.com. And if you can email it to me, you don't have to put in a long story of why you wanted to ask it. If you're like me and you have a hard time typing, just do it really brief. If you want, just ask the question. But please, if you do that, sign your name. Sign your name at the bottom of the question or the email when you send it. If I won't be announcing it on YouTube, so I won't be using your name. But that way, later on, if something comes up and you're wanting to ask me about it, I know who I'm talking to, especially if it pertains to the question that you email me. But anyhow, I'm trying to watch the road. It's really coming down right now. It's a lot of rain, a lot of water on the road. There's a sheriff back behind me. He was pulled over on that side street when I passed. I think he's coming out. I'm not speeding. My lights are on, everything's good. I don't know where he is. I didn't want him to give me a hard time because I got a camera and a big microphone and everything mounted right here in the dash. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on just a second. Alright, sorry about that. My nose started running about 5 minutes ago. Maybe the air conditioning. But I wanted to just discuss with you some of the things that I've experienced. Some of the stuff me and Kim were together and we experienced it. She hasn't seen a clear, excuse me, she hasn't seen a clear visual of one of the big guys yet. She has seen the black mass moving, between the trees. She's seen that, and she's heard the screams, the howl, scream. Oh, now I got hiccups. Oh, jeez. Sorry about that. Hiccups started really aggressively. I think they're gone now. As I was saying, Kim has... nope, there's a hiccup. She has heard that weird scream, growl sound before. She's heard it where up here at the property, we haven't had the loud screaming. Sorry about the hiccups. We have not had a screaming growl at the house. We have had growls at the house. We've heard that before. We've heard the talking before. That real weird gibberish. We've seen the eye shine at the north end of the yard, over the fence on the neighbor's property. We've seen the eye shine in there. The property on either side of our home is wooded. On the north side and the south side. The west side of the property borders a highway, a county highway. The east side of the property, we have a friend of ours owns, I think it's about an acre total. It's sort of a long, skinny little strip, and that is between our property and the lake. And so he's got, I don't know, I don't remember what the length of it is. From our back fence to the water's edge is probably 130 feet. But he owns that. He's got a house on it. At one time, it was an old fishing camp. It's been up there since the 60s, I think is when it was built. It's a block home, and he's been remodeling it. And he's done an amazing job, but he's got it on the market to resell it. He does not live there. He lives out of state, and he comes down on the weekend. Oh, watch out, turtle. Turtle in the road, right in the very center of the road. I'm in the woods right now, and there's very, very rarely do you see another vehicle here. We're on pavement. If you guys caught the show last night with Carrie, where I was explaining this area, these very wealthy brothers, I still got the hiccups, I'm sorry. These wealthy brothers bought all of this to develop it. They cut roads all through this area to make a community. They got in a lot of trouble, and it got shut down. I'm gonna I'm gonna back up right here. I'm gonna go down this side road. I think this is the one. I think I can go down this one. I'm gonna get the other camera out right quick while you were there. It's raining and I cannot put this microphone out the window, but I just want to show you the condition of these roads. I'm gonna use this one. I got hiccups so bad. Gee whiz. I gotta change the lens on this camera. This is not the, that's that big wide goofy lens, and I don't want to use that thing. I think, is that right? Oh, there it goes. Okay. I'm gonna put this I hate using this one. The lens is scratched on it. Oh, my hiccups. I hope that doesn't show up too bad. All right. But I'm just gonna show you guys what the roads out here look like to give you an idea. They are paved until you get we're a quarter mile, and then we have to go off on the dirt road, and it's dirt from that point forward. Okay, I don't think you're gonna see the you're definitely not going to. You're not gonna. I got hiccups. You're not gonna see the scratch in the lens. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, gee whiz. All right. And what I'll do, I'm gonna film this. And then I'll just put a small window on the video. It'll be right here to the side, and you guys can see what I'm referring to as far as what they've done on the road out here. As soon as I find my little camera stick, handy camera stick. But yeah, I don't know why they tried to go behind the county's back when they were doing this project here. They got into a world of trouble. But you know how some people are. Save the money. Save the money. Alright, we're in cinematic 1080p. Right, here we go. I'm going to hold it out the window. Well, I'm going to have to extend it out because it's showing. You're seeing the car instead of the road. Come on. Come on, Donnie. Well, you're going to see the car anyway. Sorry. Alright, but to give you an idea of what the road looks like, and I'll put a little side wind in where you guys can actually see these little roads. They're not in good condition. People come out here, like this particular one, they dump all over it. The other ones ain't like this. It's just this one little strip that I'm on. I mean, there's so much garbage right here. There's paint buckets, carpet. It's horrible. And all these lots that are on the sides of me, it's all wooded. There's nothing cleared. There's no structures of any type. They had all these lots for sale. And I believe they did sell some of them. There's a dog skull, like a coyote skull or something. Definitely canine, big teeth. Looks like a bulldog. Yeah, that stinks. I mean, it doesn't smell. It's just sad if that's someone's pet that they would just come out here and dump them. The least you could do is give them a proper burial. But anyhow, this area Right here to my left, I'm going to turn the camera. I don't know if I can time it right where you can see, but I just turned the camera to the left, showing the woods. This area right here, a few years ago I was coming down here, and I seen a very large black figure, and it crossed the pavement, the paved road, and it went up into the woods that you're looking at right now. And there's a little side trail that goes down further that direction that comes back behind it. And I went down in there to see if maybe it was a bear or whatever it was, just to get an idea of what type of animal it was. And there's an old dim trail back there, and when I parked and I walked down that trail, and I did see something, and there was something in the brush. There was a fallen tree, or some cut down trees. I don't remember now, but there was a tree down. It had heavy foliage on it, and I seen black hair, very shiny black hair was in that, and it moved. It, without a doubt, it moved, and that was it. I got out of there. I don't know what it was. I didn't stick around. I was way too close to it. When I seen it move, there was a lot of stuff moving back there, and the sound just vacated. It went completely silent in there, and it didn't register with me that something was off. And so I walked in. I wasn't far from the car, maybe 50 yards, but it was real thick in there, and a really wide game trail, and then that big tree that was down. And I could see through the leaves, you could make out what looked like black fur or black hair, I'm not sure. And so I just changed position, moved over a little bit, got a little closer, and I was maybe 15 feet from it. And I seen the movement very clearly, very defined. And I seen the hair. There's an opening in the leaves, pretty large, and I could see the black shiny hair, and I filmed it. I don't know which video it is. It's many videos back. It was a year and a half, 2 years ago, but that was right there. I'm on the clay road now. Noise coming down. I may have to wait a minute before I leave the truck or the van. This road is red clay, so when it rains, it is a mess. And this minivan does not do well in soft sand or slick mud. I was going to bring the little Honda car, the CR-V, because it is four-wheel drive, but the four-wheel drive in that thing works excellent. I've never gotten it stuck. The four-wheel drive in this, it acts like all-wheel drive, but it seems like if one of the front tires spins, all the other tires will lose power. All the power goes to the one tire that's spinning freely, and so it does not do well. Trying to find a trail. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. Spinning. Oh, there we go. Alright, I'm in the woods now. Some of the things, I know we have a lot of new people that are here with us, and I thank all of you for joining our family here at Standing Goats Rescue. And so I'll just do a brief excuse me, do a brief I don't know, description of a lot of the stuff that we've experienced up here. It's been a few years back. We were we would feed the deer on the property. And we had one deer that I caught on a couple of different trail cameras, and he looked like he had the CWD, the chronic wasting disease. And we took pictures of the pictures that the camera caught. We took them to the Wildlife Conservation Office, and I showed the pictures to them, and the biologist said that it did look like the symptoms of chronic wasting disease before it gets to the worst part of it where it kills them. And so they had told me to shoot that deer, load him up, and bring him down to them, or call them, and they could meet me somewhere, and they would pick it up and take it in to run testing on it. And it was a mature buck. He had I think it was an 8-point buck, not a very big 8-point, but he was a mature deer, and very poor. He looked horrible. His body was looked to be around 110 pounds, and he should have been around 150 to 160. Well, I set up to target him, and then we had one more deer that I caught on camera. Big buck, big purdy buck. But he attacked several of the does and the yearlings that we had on the property. And then we had a picture of him. There was a doe, and she had 2 little spotted fawns, and one of the pictures, the buck had his head like toward the ground, but he had it tossed up like he was looking at the sky, and 2 or 3 feet above him was one of them fawns. He had hooked that fawn with his horns, and he threw it up in the air, and he was just a really bad-tempered buck. And we had a lot of pictures and video clips of him attacking does and the deer that were younger than him, including the babies. So we decided we would call him out. We would harvest him and the sick deer. Well, I came and set up in my ladder stand. I put it up, and there's a game trail coming from the bigger property into the 10-acre block. The bigger property is the one that we own now, but during this time we didn't own it. And the man who did own it does not allow hunting on it. Well, there's a game trail that comes from that property onto our property, and it's a wide game trail. It's almost wide enough to drive an ATV down. I was sitting in the ladder stand. That trail's directly in front of me. So if something's coming down that trail toward me, I'll see it way before it makes it to where I'm at. So plenty of shot opportunity. Well, there's a tree. As I'm looking at that game trail, to the left side of the game trail, about 20 feet in front of me, there's a big pine tree, and there's a limb that comes out that was just about level with my knees as I was sitting on the ladder stand. And I kept seeing like a sparkle as I was staring at that game trail. Just to the left of my point of vision, I kept seeing a glimmer. And this went on for a while, and then finally it dawned on me that there's a spider web right there. And so I started looking for it. And it finally come into view, and I could see the outline of a person. And that limb that was coming out, he was standing on the limb with his feet, but he was squatted down where his rear end was almost touching the limb. But I could make out the entire, whatever it was, I could see the whole thing. The arms, the hands, the fingers, the feet, and his feet were wrapped around the limb. That's what was holding him. But he lifted a hand up, and he grabbed the tree. I kept hearing bark falling, and seeing that little glistening thing, that shine. I was looking for lizards going up the tree, the little green chameleons, and I didn't see any. but I could hear the bark crackling on the pine tree, and I could see little bits falling off, but I couldn't see what was causing it. Well, then I seen this outline of this thing, this person or whatever it was, and I got to watching it, and it really, once I focused in on what I was looking at, that outline, then I seen him, he lifted his arm up, the side closest to the tree itself, and he raised it up, and I seen when he spread his hand out to grab it, I could see his fingers, and it looked to be 5 fingers. And when he grabbed the pine tree, I seen some big flakes of bark fall off to the ground, and that's when I realized that whatever it is, it's there. But it was clear. It looked like water, and it had a sort of a shimmer to it, very strange, whatever it was. And I would guess about the size of like Rosie's height, somewhere 4 foot, 4.5 foot, like a kid. And I don't know what it was, but when I finally realized it was a living creature with 2 arms, 2 legs, hands, fingers, I panicked. And this was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He's 20 feet from me, and I'm eye level with him. And I shot down the ladder, and I turned around to look to make sure he was still up there. I didn't want him hitting the ground the same time I did, because I didn't know what it was. And when I turned and looked, I couldn't see him. And I was not sticking around. I couldn't see him because of the sky in the background, and he was clear. How I was able to spot him before, he's right in front of me. I'm looking at the game trail, and he's sort of off to the side, but I got all the green and brown of the trees, the dense cover right there, and he was glimmering, and that cover was sort of bringing him out to where I could see him better. When I hit the ground, I looked up at him. I got the sky as the background. It was during the daytime, and so I couldn't see him at all, and that scared me even more. And so I took off. I left, and it was probably a month or so before I came back to the property. But a few weeks later, I started hunting an area that me and Chris Claghorn hunt, from Claghorn Outdoors. Him and I hunt together, and so we were in an area we've hunted. I've been in there since I was 16 years old, and we were hunting over there, and I was sitting on the ground in a little tree, a chair that clamps to a tree, and I was just 15 or 20 feet off of the logging road. And the logging road, they don't use it but about once every 8 or 9 years when they actually come in to log some of the timber. And so it's overgrown with dog fennel and just weeds, variety of weeds. And I could hear something coming down the road, and this was late afternoon, if I'm remembering correctly, somewhere 2, 3 o'clock. And I could hear something coming, walking toward me, and it sounded bipedal, or like something was hopping, in the grass. And I just, focusing on where I could hear the sound, I was expecting to see an armadillo, a possum, a rabbit, some type of little critter. And I wasn't seeing anything at all. I could hear it, but I wasn't seeing it. And then I seen the grass move. And he wasn't quite in front of me yet. He was a little to my left. And I got to watching, and I seen it move again. When he got in front of me, the dog fennel isn't right in front of me. It's way to my left, and it goes way back. And there's a little to the right of me. But right in front of me, the grass and the weeds were short. That one little section, because there's another road that turns off of that one and heads north. And so I'm looking down that road. That's what I was hunting, was that road and a game trail about 30 yards to the right of it. Well, that area, the weeds are low, and so I could see the ground. They're short. If it would have been a rabbit, I would have seen him. But I could see the grass lay down and heard the step, and then a foot or so further away, I see it again. And then again, it was footsteps. Well, when he got just past that road, that's where the sunlight was coming through the treetops of the pines where I was at. And as soon as he stepped into the sunlight, it was like the outline of him glowed but it wasn't glowing. It was that glimmer like a spider web does when the sun hits it. And I could make out the entire body. Same thing that I'd witnessed a month and a half earlier over here at this property. And he walked right past, and I could see him. As long as he stayed in the sun, I could see him real well. He turned, went down the game trail. As soon as you go on that game trail, there's a tree that fell. The root ball is right there. And so when you get to it, it's too tall to just step over it. And so it's not, it's right at the height. When you get up to it, you just lean over, grab it with one hand, and then you step over it, and then you stand up and you continue. And he went up to that, leaned over, grabbed the tree, stepped over it, and stood back up, and he kept walking. The dog fennel and the short pine saplings are thick right there. And I could see him move his hand out and grab or put his hand on the dog fennel, and he would push it, and the plant would bend over, and he'd go past it. He'd let go of it, and it'd stand back up. And I could see the stuff parting as he was moving it as he walked to it. And the same thing, he was about 4.5 foot tall, maybe 5 foot, that one. But it appeared about the size of an average 12-year-old boy. That's what I was thinking in my head. The outline was very crisp. I didn't see any hair or fur, even on the head. It was a very clean outline. I don't know if it's some government project and maybe some type of suit that's skin tight that you wear over your whole body. I have no idea. But that was twice in a month and a half, 2 months, somewhere thereabout, that I've seen 2 of them. And I've seen one since then, but I just only seen that for about 5 seconds. And I only seen the top half. I didn't see the whole creature that time. But the first 2 times I've seen the entire being. And it looks like, it just looks like water. And whatever, you can see through it, but the foliage and stuff, whatever's on the other side of him. Sorry guys, the camera cut off, so I'll make this brief. Whatever you're looking at when you're looking through that creature was distorted. Like when you look into water, if you push a stick into the water and you're looking at it, when it hits the water, it appears to shift under the water. That refraction, that's the way it was looking. What I could see through this being, whatever it was, the vision was a little distorted through it. That's why I'm thinking it was water. But anyhow, guys, this camera's overheated, plus the battery's dead. I don't know why that is. But I'm going to get everything together. Hopefully the rain will let up so we can get down in here, and I'm going to bring you guys along with me. I'm not going to be able to use this microphone, though, if it's still raining. This is not waterproof, and it was rather expensive, and I can't afford to replace it. But just bear with me a minute. We're going to get in here. I got to get this game camera out. I'm going to check it. If we got anything decent, I'll share those pictures. Y'all have a good day, and we'll be right back. Alright, the rain finally slacked enough I can get in here. Alright, we're going to run back here and check the camera. Guys, the settings I'm using right now on the camera, I normally film in 1080p. But as I was researching this morning, I know that YouTube converts everything to a lower resolution. Carrie had shared with me how they go from 1080 to 720 and even lower than that, and so you have to adjust some settings in YouTube, and I figured that out. So I believe it'll be 1080 that it should change it to, but I normally film in 1080 because I get a lot longer battery life, and the footage is pretty decent. But the 4K footage, it does give you a little better field of view, and so I'm doing this video in 4K. still lightning and thundering out. But the 4K footage, it does eat up some battery pretty quick. Normally I can film a little over an hour, about an hour and 10 minutes with the 1080p footage. I can get quite a bit of footage running in that setting, but it seems like the 4K, you get like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. It's not much, but we're not going to be doing any hiking. I'm going to look at the food pile I put out here by the game camera, and if they're eating it up, then I'll just check the memory card. But if they're still not touching it, if it's just a raccoon, then I'm going to take it out. If something's on it, then I'll just wait and get it out. Maybe tomorrow. I don't want it to interfere with Carrie and Mark when they're here. I know it puts off an IR light, and I don't know if that messes up whatever type of cameras and stuff that they use. Tight fit. Kind of hard to do this one-handed, but we'll get it. That's my front. Something's going on with that front tire on the driver's side, so it makes that popping noise you keep hearing. That. Oh, I can smell wet brush. Doesn't smell good. Ooh. This is normally where I park, by this oak tree. I don't want to get too far down and get this thing stuck, but I don't want to be too far away and I get soaked before I get back to the car. Alright, let me get this shut off, and I think I'm going to make a run for it and go check the camera. It's still thundering like crazy out. Guys, the audio is not going to be near as good as it was in the van. This is the built-in microphones that I'm using right now. That Rode mic is not waterproof. I really hate the feeling that I get back over here. I hate that. That's where I gotta go to. I think we're going right over here. I think that's where the camera is. I don't normally go this way. Oh, that was hair. That's not. That's some type of moss. Best way around. It's too thick right there. Oh jeez, I hate this lightning, thunder. I'm wearing my long pants, my jeans today, so I'm carrying my big firearm. Oh boy, here comes rain. As long as it don't get the memory card wet. Not sure where I'm at. going the right direction, I think. Looking for the big pile of feed that I got out. I don't think I made it that far yet. Oh boy, that's a big trail. It's a big game trail right here. Now I have not been this way yet. Okay, I can see the feed, or I can see that apple lick. The camera should be right up over here somewhere. I'm gonna do this fast. Here's the camera. Right there in front of me on this tree right here, the pine. And there's the feed. Doesn't look like anything's touched it. It's sweet, something's gotten to the corn. But the sweet feed, it's all swole up, but there's nothing got into it. Some bugs. Something's definitely gotten to the corn. Alright guys, I'm going to set this up. Let me see if I can do this where you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to check this camera real quick. Check the memory card, get the pictures off. Since I walked in front of the camera, there's 4 pictures it took. 2 video clips and 2 photographs. I'm going to leave it out a little while longer, this camera. Probably got to do password again. Yep. Password. Oh, incorrect. Alright. The red light blinking gives me about 10 seconds. Let's go behind it. Okay, sorry about the noise. I'm gonna close the tripod up. I think that's just thunder. It gets so pretty back there, but I don't know if, let me see if we can go up and cut across. think we're going to be able to because of all the trees that are down. The majority of these trees are from the hurricane. Hurricane Michael came through and we got just ravaged with tornadoes up here. Look at the game trail right here. I mean, it goes right through, but there's no, I'm not seeing any deer tracks in it. Guess that was me. Ow, oh, there's thorns in that one. Oh Lord. Ooh. That's really thick. I'm not going to be able to get around. I don't like the way it feels over here at all. That area right there, I really don't like that at all. It is a very bad feeling right there. Wood. This lightning must have hit a tree over here. I don't know, one of these are broke. That's where a month or so ago we came in here, me, Kim, and Rose, and we filmed some of the creek. If you remember, we came through right here down this game trail. We went right through there, and these trees were not broke over right there. We have not had any storms up here. I don't like that area at all. Let's see if we can get down here. I'm just trying to stay out of view of that camera. Yeah, we ended up right back over there. We're just trying to get to the creek. We're still learning this area. Whoa, y'all hear that? Sounded like something fell into the brush or something and went through the brush. Oh, this, I don't remember seeing this. Right here. This area. We went past it, I don't think, no, we haven't come into this. This is pretty, there's a creek. Let's see if I can get over here. Well, this is a neat little area right here. I have not seen this area. There's a small little waterfall right there. And a game trail going right down to the water. It's a little cleared area, like something's been bedding up right there maybe. The creek's got a lot of water runoff in it. It's got a brown tint. Something in the water. That sounds big. Oh, yeah. Hold on, guys. I don't know what that is. That was something running up. That was coming from this way. Something was running up really fast toward me. Oh, man. It sounded like a dog. You know how quiet a dog is when they run, but you can hear them moving through this stuff. And I'm not saying that's Sasquatch. You guys, there's wildlife out here, a lot of it. And I'm sure it's some type of wildlife. I don't want to contend with something that's going to bite me, attack me. Not when my only means of defense is a pistol. There was definitely something in that water. Y'all should be able to hear it splashing around. I hope. Startled me. I'm going to go back to the van and take a look at the game camera pictures. There's not a lot on it. There's 4 from today, and all 4 of them is me. As we walk in front of the camera. That's how loud it is right here. That's the little waterfall. Boy, that really scared me. I was listening to the tracks, the splashing in the water. I was focusing on that, and then I hear something running through the leaves, the brush. You can hear it really clear. And it sounded like how a dog sounds. There's no thumping, but you can hear it like moving through the leaves. And it was moving very fast. It sounded like it was coming toward me, but I didn't see anything. Oh, if you heard that, it was a deer blowing, I think. Sort of sounded like a deer blowing. Alright. That area there is just, I don't know. There's something just not right about that in there. Alright guys, we're gonna get pulled out. Sound good. All right, what I'm going to do, I got a magnet mount, and I'm going to, just so you get an idea where we're at back here. So you can see there are no neighbors. There's dirt roads everywhere, but there's nobody here. I'm going to put a camera right here with a magnet mount, and I'll just film once we get out on the road a little bit. Then I'll stop. But just to give you an idea, back here, there's nobody. It's woods. So let me get it set up. Let me get the other camera out. I'm not going to put this one on because I have to change the settings, because at 4K it's going to overheat pretty quick. All right, let's do this. All right, guys. I've not looked at the footage yet from the game camera. What I did, I mounted my other camera on the hood to show you guys. I'm only about maybe half a mile from the property entrance, but I circled back around where I was closer to the entrance to give you an idea of the area. And what I'll do on this video, off to the side, I will put the footage from the hood camera where you can see the area, what it's like right here. I'm gonna shift this camera. Let me turn it just a little bit. And what I'll do is I use the other side right over here to put the footage of what the hood camera's showing. But where we're at, the entrance coming into this property is it's pretty tight. I hope I can get through right here. I'm trying to find the easiest route. I'm in the van and it does not do so good. Oh, there's so much water right here. The van gets stuck like ridiculously easy. Ooh. That was pretty deep. But this little trail that I'm on, if I go about 50 yards to the, I think that's the east, then that's the trail that we come in on, was right there. I just wanted to show you, we're going to circle around, we're going to be back on that trail right there where we just turned onto this one. And so you'll see all the footage from the property out to where you can see what's around there. There's no houses. And all the roads, if you caught Bigfoot Odyssey last night, which was Friday night late show, the 100th episode of Bigfoot Odyssey's late night show. And Carrie was gracious enough to invite me to come on and join him. But as I was explaining to them guys last night, there's roads everywhere through here, but they are definitely not improved roads. I gotta get some speed up because of sand in the corners. They cut all these roads through and started laying out boundaries per property, and they're anywhere from, these little lots are like an acre to 3 acres. A few of them are 5 acres, but most of them are small. And that's as far as they got. They started cutting trees in wet areas to develop these roads, and anyway, they got in a lot of trouble and got shut down. But they just got everything straightened out. They've been shut down for probably 16 to 18 years, for a long time, but they just got the go-ahead where they can continue with their project. I'm watching the weather on my phone. We got some really bad weather all around us. I'm soaked, and it's not from rain. Well, it's from the rain, but it stopped raining, and I went to check the game camera, and it was just the rain droplets falling off the trees, off the leaves. I mean, I went in as soon as the rain stopped, literally. I don't know why people come in here and they throw their trash out here, and it's just it aggravates me. If we ever catch anyone doing that, I'll turn them in. You know, our dump, and I don't know if it's all of them, we got a few landfills, but the one that we normally use, they have 2 free weekends. They call it the Amnesty Days. Labor Day weekend and Memorial Day weekend is Amnesty Days, where you can bring all of your trash, and that's everything. Appliances, chemicals, oil, car tires, whatever you have, you can bring. Whoa, that was a big lightning. You can bring all of it to the dump, and you can get rid of that stuff for free. And they weigh everybody out to make sure that you are up to the weight that you're supposed to be. I guess I don't know. The most I've ever took in on Amnesty Day was 2,800 pounds, and there was no charge at all. But I want you guys to get an idea of the roads here and what they leaving the property. We're almost to the dirt road, the main dirt road, the one that they do grade, and I'll film that as well when I get down. We got to drive over a berm, so I'm gonna try to line it up to where hopefully it'll play out right with where we are at right now in this video, that the other one will play out right. that's what I'm aiming for. I'm not real good at editing. I'm able to edit just enough to put out some fair videos and just sharing our life with all of you. And I'll be sharing a lot of the encounters that I've had with Carrie. A lot of the older encounters, the details, I'm not remembering them as clear as what I did. The one that happened to Mariana, the one I call my bad encounter, I remember that one like it was yesterday. But the other ones where it was just goofy things or seeing them off in the distance, any encounter is interesting in my mind, but they're just not. They're not the encounters that people will listen to. To bring awareness so that they don't let their children and their loved ones go out into the forest alone and unarmed. That's the whole point, is just bringing awareness so that people are safe and they can get home and survive whatever's out there. It's never good to go alone. I go alone all the time, and I know you're supposed to practice what you preach, but I don't have the option to have people to go with me. And I'm not going to bring Kim and Rosie out into these areas, especially when I know some of these areas that I go to and I hunt in. I know without a doubt what's out there. I've seen them, I've witnessed it firsthand, and I'm just not going to bring them out into that. And if you think about it, if you're efficient with firearms, I've got quite a bit of training. I am a certified NRA instructor as a chief range safety officer, and I did a lot of the personal defense training for women, but also did it for men. And to pull a firearm, a handgun, out of concealment wherever you carry it on your body, and to dump 10 to 15 rounds of ammunition onto a target, you can do that in about 2 seconds, 3 seconds time, from the moment you pull it out of your holster to when the magazine's empty. And you don't want your loved ones, in the heat of the moment, something happens, one of these creatures come up, he's aggressive, he's violent, you're scared, you're fighting for your life, you got people around you, you pull out a pistol and you start slinging lead. I can hit what I'm aiming at. I'm very proficient with a firearm. I'm not a marksman by any means. That would be Chris Claghorn, my brother Chris. He could hit a soda bottle, the cap on it, at 300 yards. He's an amazing shot. I am not. I can hit a deer-sized target or a pig at 100 yards. My rifle can, I don't know what the capabilities are of it, but for me, I feel confident out to 100 yards with it. With my pistol, I'm confident out to 30 yards in a situation where I need to get it up and shoot. Beyond that, I would have to be relaxed, control my breathing, and really concentrate on what I'm doing to hit past that. But when you have something charging you, especially something that you've never seen before, you don't understand it, you don't know what it is, your mind is going into overdrive, but you have the instinct to pull your weapon to defend yourself, it can get crazy. And when you start slinging your hand around with a loaded gun and you're pulling the trigger, the last thing you want is to have your loved one between you and the target. That could end very bad. Alright, where I just turned, I'm on the pavement right now, but I just want to show you these roads. These are the type roads that are out here that they've paved. One layer of pavement. This road, people have been dumping on it. We actually, a couple weeks ago, when I come down it, there was one of them huge, I think it's a 70-gallon trash can. It is a massive trash can with a lid, and it has wheels on it. Somebody just dumped it on the side of the road. I opened the lid on it. and all it had inside of it was pine straw and some leaves. And so I dumped it out. There was no trash. Took it home. We bleached it inside and out, and I still got it at home right now, and we use it. But I want you to see these roads and how these roads are. I mean, there's no houses on them, and that's what's all around here. And if you look at an aerial view of this area, there's hundreds of roads. It looks like city blocks everywhere, but there's no structures, there's no homes. These roads have one layer of asphalt over them. I'm gonna back up. If I can line this video up right, the one that's sitting to the side of me right now, this other video, I was coming down the pavement, I think it was about 2 years ago, and something crossed the road in front of me. I turned down this road to see what it was. This right here is where I parked, what you're seeing in the video beside me here. Alright, I parked right here. That big oak tree that's in front of me, that was not there. But about 50 yards past this spot, there's another oak tree down. Alright, I went up in there because what I seen run across the road went that direction. I pulled up in here, got out, it was lightning, and I started filming. And when I walked down there, I wasn't far from the car, and there was something in the tree that fell, and it still had leaves all over it. It was a full tree top, and there was something moving in it, and I most definitely seen black fur. Very shiny, very thick. It only appeared to be probably that long, 3 or 4 inches long, but it looked like it had just left a hairdresser. Very shiny, very pretty. And I do not know if that was what I seen run across the road. What I seen was very large. It appeared to be on 2 legs, but hunched way over. And when it shot across the blacktop, it was scooting. That thing was sure enough running. But anyhow, it happened in that block right there. But we're headed out. I just wanted to share that with you. You know, I enjoy sharing a lot of our life, our personal life, what goes on, you know, at our home and with us in general. And also, when I take these hikes, we have activity, we have encounters, whatever it may be. I like to share all of that with you all. You know, you guys and gals are our extended family, and we can't be more appreciative or more blessed to have people like you in our life. And I just want to thank you for that. You guys are the greatest. Thank you so very much. And for those of you that have been combing through the videos and you've been finding faces and figures in the brush, and you've been sending that stuff to me, thank you so very much. I mean, God bless you. Thank you. I would have never seen that stuff if it was never pointed out to me. And you all are the ones that are finding it. I'm going to get out and get this camera stopped. It's on the hood. Get it put away. But I'll be seeing you guys soon. Y'all have an absolutely phenomenal evening. I'm going to try to do a show tonight. I've got some new stuff to share with you that's quite interesting. But I love each and every one of you. Y'all have an absolutely phenomenal day, whether it be hot or wet. Where you're at, it's both here right now. But God bless you all, and we'll definitely be seeing you soon. Until that time, always be safe. Bye-bye.